Hey everybody, it's Chris Fleming, the showstopper. I told you that I would be back in about 5 days to update y'all on what's going on in the race shop. As y'all can see, the missile is almost totally rebuilt. Now, we wrecked this car a couple of weeks ago at Daytona, and y'all seen this car was completely wiped out. And basically the only thing on this car that's the same is the roof and the left door. The rest of this car has to be totally re-lettered. We've got the motor in the car, radiator now, carburetor's on the car. We're basically waiting for NASCAR to come now and pump our motor. This is a brand new motor from Performance Technology, new Ford. It's actually a motor we had rebuilt. We raced this motor for a couple of years, and we've had it updated. Our headers, we sent them back and had them tumbled. The right header was knocked off the car, and Profile rebuilt that header, and we got the brakes back on the car. We knocked the right front off, and luckily we saved the caliper. We had to replace the front hub and the rotor, but I don't know how, but some way or another, in this wreck, this caliper, it made it through. But you can see, new header, new right side on the car. Of course, we talked about last week about replacing the front clip. But everything basically on this car now, we have rebuilt in a week. We done the same work that it took 2 months this winter to do. It's amazing what you can do when you can get in a jam. Now, Amy's filming me today, so I'm going to go to the back end of the car right here and show you what we've done on the back end, if you'll come on back. When Frank hit the wall at New Smyrna, it bent the cube around on this rear end probably an inch. And we had another rear end already being fixed. But what we'll do with that rear end is, we send it to Bob Park, Bob will put a new tube in it, and it'll be good as new. Now, at Caraway, we run a different gear. When we go to Caraway, we'll be running the 533 gear. We are limited to what rear end ratios we run at different tracks. At New Smyrna, we run a 468, I think, but this is a complete different rear end in the car. It's a 533, and we've got all that stuff in the car, brakes back on. This car, if we had to, we could race it tonight. Now, a lot of you may ask, well, you worked on this car all winter, 2 months building it, and again, when you get in a jam, it's amazing what you can do. The best race car we've ever carried to a racetrack went to New Smyrna 2 weeks ago. That's the car we tore up, and now it's basically rebuilt again. We haven't put the fuel cell bladder in yet because NASCAR says the fuel cell bladder can only be 5 years old, and our date had run out on our fuel cell. So we've got a new one over here in the floor. NASCAR will inspect it Monday morning. They're supposed to be here at 10:30. They'll inspect it, and we'll put it in the car, and it'll get a seal on it. NASCAR keeps up with all these kind of things. It's a safety measure. It's what they want to do. Some of the things I don't agree with. I was against helmets on pit road, uniforms, and it ended up saving my life probably. So I'm not going to argue with them a whole lot. It looks like they know more about it than I do. Maybe if you'll walk on around and show them the rest of the stuff. Again, you can see basically the only body parts on this car that we run before is the roof and the door. And over here on the other missile, this is the hood that will go on the other car. That's one of the things we haven't got to yet, is we've got to fix the hood. Now, a lot of you may say, you got another race car sitting here. Why don't you run that car? Well, you'll need to talk to Frank Fleming about that. I begged Frank to run this car, but for some reason, this car's got a performance technology engine in it, and you know, he likes that Ford engine. So we end up running the other car. Now to the missile. As you can see, no, not to the missile, to the showstopper, I'm sorry. To the showstopper, you can see I still haven't touched it. You know, the last couple of weeks there's not been enough hours in the day, and hopefully we'll finish the missile up next week. We'll go to Caraway next weekend, and we won't have any problems, and I'll come home, and then I can get on the showstopper and get this car finished. Luke was going to test today, and it rained the test out. Luke actually worked around the clock yesterday. At 9 o'clock he was still up, or 10 o'clock he was still up and hadn't been to bed. He worked all night long on his cars. And I'm very proud of Luke. There's one thing you can say about George and Luke. They're not afraid to work, and they've paid the price to win. So hopefully everything will be good, and I'll update you again in a few days. Talk to you soon.